fucking kid. He just jumps on the tripod and was like, what the fuck?
He was trying to chew it the other day. I had to move it.
That's why we can't have nice things, dude.
He's been pretty loose on the chewing. He hasn't been chewing a whole lot. Like, he's kind of grown out of it. But also, like, he still chews things occasionally.
Right.
But mainly plastic water bottle casing. You know, the big case of water bottles?
Yeah.
I'll get on top of that because we'll keep it in the foyer. The foyer. The foyer. The vestibule.
The common area.
He'll go up there and he'll scratch it and he'll fucking eat the plastic because he's a retard.
Fucking wide-eyed like he's on fucking coke. He's like, yeah, baby.
Whoa, that's the stuff. That's what cats say when they see the most inedible substance in existence.
It's like, that's the stuff. 30 seconds later.
You know, ever since he got his stomach ripped out, because he ate tape, he hasn't thrown up at all.
They removed his ability to throw up.
And that was like a year ago.
Reverse peristalsis ain't happening.
So now,
Done.
if he throws up, I'm gonna get real concerned.
Right. Yeah.
Well, generally, cats throw up all the time. So, like, generally, the only time you have to worry, really, is if they throw up, like, a lot.
Yeah, like if it's every day, you know. Like
and then they start throwing up clear. Then you have to really get worried.
Yeah.
My last cat threw up clear once, and then he died the next day.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know what happened.
What was his name again?
Getty.
I
still don't know what happened to him. Like, he just, like, was fine. And then he was, like, acting weird one day. And we were like, oh, well, it's too late. We gotta take him to the vet tomorrow morning. And then he died.
It's a medical mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. Shut up, dude.
Dude, media in progress, you fat bitch.
He's been awfully talkative lately. He's been very whiny.
Yeah. Especially during the podcast.
I give him everything he wants. And I only like deny him things he wants when he's being a prick.
Or when it's for his own good, like tape.
Yeah. So like
Chris is like, no, I spoon feed him tape.
I'll let him in my room and he'll wander around, but the second he starts acting a fool, I pick him up and I throw him out of my room and he screams every time.
Yep. That's a cat for you.
He's a whiny baby. But he needs to learn that if he's going to act like a dickhead, he's not going to be allowed in my room.
Right.
So.
That's why one time I walked in Chris's room, I was being a dickhead, I got thrown right out of the room. Just full speed. There's a corner right there, I just pile drove it with my head.
The difference between a cat and a baby is that a cat, the gears turn a lot slower.
Yeah.
You can teach a baby pretty easily, actually. They're kind of smart.
Kind of spongy, yeah.
Yeah.
They're a sponge for data.
You can imprint shit in their memory very easily. But a cat, the gears turn, but they're
not very greased.
They're just turning real slow. They're really rusty, shitty old gears. Especially this cat. He's not exactly a bastion of intelligence. He's got a couple teeth missing on the gears. Yeah, his gears are stripped out. He slips into neutral all the time. He's not
just
doing
walking.
Well. Hey Jordan, you know what we should do?
Should start the show.
And sync the audio.
Yeah, I think I did.
Did we? Let's do it again.
Just in case.
We're here. I'm fired up today.
Firing on all cylinders.
I'm in a good mood.
Surprisingly.
I listen. We'll talk about it, but I had a good night last night, so I'm in a good mood.
Best wank he's ever had.
It was an above average wank, to be fair, so.
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
Hello and welcome to the 86th installment of the Synapse Misfire podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our co-host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
That's him.
I'm back. I never
He's
left.
Back. We're both back.
We died.
Yeah, actually, it's like the second coming of Christ. Like we both
it's the
died.
second coming of Chris.
When's Easter? Did that already happen?
No. April something. I would ask Google, but I can't.
So it's like Easter, basically. Like we died, and we came back.
Yeah.
Because then we realized no one missed us after we died, so we had to come back and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?
Bro, what's going on?
Come on, bro." Jordan.
Yes, sir.
If I was a person who wanted to listen to the audio only, dare I say the inferior version of this podcast, where can I go? What platforms might I be able to turn to?
Okay. Good question. Good question, Chris. Right off the top of the head. Good one. So, if you'd like to listen to the inferior version of the Synapse Misfire podcast, the audio-only version, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, and, of course, Pocket Cast, my app of choice, as well as the RSS feed. Put it into whatever app you want. And, as always, contact us, Instagram and TikTok. We do shorts there sometimes. Totally skipped last week's. I haven't just haven't uploaded it, but that's fine. Last week's episode was a bust.
It was.
It was a bust. It's in the archives.
I was busting.
You was busting. And via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. We'll read them out in the show. Give us shit to talk about. And, yeah. Suggestions, too. If there's something you think we could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this one guy, right? He gave us a really good suggestion. I thought this was a good suggestion. It was this guy named Jim. He was like, hey, love the show, but you should both kill yourselves.
Was that also the guy who sent us a 60-second perfectly looping gif of him flexing his asshole?
Yeah, that Jim. Asshole Jim, yeah.
Yeah, assholejim@gmail.com. I'm sure that's a real email address.
If it isn't, we're making one.
Asshole Jim.
Sphincter Jim.
Sphincter Jimmy.
Jimmy Sphinx, dude.
Jimmy Sphinx.
Oh, fuck. Anyway, Chris.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? I know there's a lot going on there. So what have you been up to?
Terrible week, Jordan. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you're in a good mood today on Saturday then.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Monday was a fine day.
It was a Monday.
It was a fine day. The school that I go to lifted their mask mandate. So I was finally able to go to school. It was so weird.
Right.
Because this is the only place I've worn a mask like in recent times. So it's like going there, because our work lifted theirs a while ago.
Back. Yeah, they lifted it, and they put it back, and then they lifted it
again. So the school did the same thing. So I walked in, and it was like I was back in the beginning of freshman year. It's like everyone was there. No one was wearing masks. Everyone was just chilling, having a good time. You know, I think it's interesting. So it was an interesting day. You know, it's just interesting to see after so long of having the masks on.
Yeah.
No one having one.
It's the progression, and then eventually the inevitable regression as well.
Listen, I don't think there's going to be another. I don't think the American public can take another one.
I don't think so either. I agree.
Like, I feel like if there's another, like, big outburst and there's, like, another mandate that gets put in place, there's going to be, like, riots.
Yeah.
So.
I think we're good, though. But, yeah, it is weird to see. So they lifted the mandate. Yep. You went to school. You actually were like, wow. Taking you back. Good old days.
Yeah, surprisingly, Monday, my project management class was actually on.
Ah. That's good.
Not the same case for Wednesday, though. She canceled that class. My professor, she cancels class, like, once a week. I'm not even joking. I think that she's canceled class, like, over the course of the last, 10 or 11 weeks. She's canceled class, like, 5 times.
Wow.
On me.
That's crazy.
But Alex, who has her other class on different days, she's only canceled on him once. So we just get the short end of the stick all the time.
Seemingly.
Tuesday was a bad day. As you know, I recently purchased a Toyota Prius, but I was waiting for it. I was at the dealership.
New batteries. Things.
It needed a new battery, not the big hybrid battery, the 12-volt battery. So it got that, and it was like a special order thing. Anyway, it got done. I got the call that it was ready, so I got to pick it up. Because my 2:00 class had been canceled for that day. Go to pick it up, do all the paperwork, do what I got to do. Leaving, get on the highway. I'm on the on-ramp. And I admit, this is like perfectly my fuck up. This is my issue. I looked down at my maps. Two cars in front of me slammed on their brakes. Person in front of me slammed on their brakes. I look up. I did not have time. So I rear-ended the person in front of me. So it's just a bad day overall. And no one was hurt. Everyone's fine. Airbags didn't deploy. It wasn't a big, a huge big thing. But it was my first ever, accident. Really shook me up.
Yeah, we'll put the photos on the screen. We took some. Chris said I could show you.
It really shook me up. But everything's fine insurance-wise and whatever. So that's my story. I bought a car and probably totaled it immediately.
Yeah.
So.
And I asked about the Fiesta. I was like, good luck. Good thing it wasn't the Fiesta.
Oh, yeah. So my dad, who was in the Fiesta behind me, he had stopped, hazard lights on all three cars. And a truck was coming behind us on the same on-ramp and almost rear-ended the Fiesta. My dad had to, wave him on and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of the way. So, because at that point, I had no way to direct my anger because I was angry, really at myself. Because who else am I going to get angry at? I was being an asshole. I was looking at my phone.
Yeah.
But if someone had rear-ended the Fiesta again after that, then I would have had a vessel to direct my anger to. It would have been a bad situation.
Chris probably would have been in jail.
It would have
been a solo podcast for me.
It would be like that thing that happened in Connecticut 10 or 15 years ago, where the lady gave her chimp Xanax, and the chimp went ape shit, no pun intended, and ripped their lady's face off, and they had to shoot the chimp.
Yeah.
That would be like me.
It'd be like King Kong.
It'd be like an animal. They'd have to shoot me.
Yeah.
And I just go down, and I just have to. That would be it. It'd be a solo show.
Yeah. Solo performance on this side, baby.
But, on a less serious note, the week got better after that.
Right. It was like a perfect low. Yeah.
Wednesday, no class. So I worked. Thursday, class. I did not work. Friday, I worked. It was a fine day.
Yeah.
And today's Saturday.
Yeah. Today is Saturday. And we're podcasting.
We're podcasting. It's been a tough week for me. But I learned a lot.
Definitely need a phone holder, so it's in front of you. In the car when you're using your maps.
That's what our boss said when I talked to him about it.
Yeah. That's why anytime I've ever had an issue where my phone holder didn't work or whatever, whenever I looked at maps, even though you're not supposed to hold your phone, I always did it right up front.
I probably should have done that. Yeah.
Because that's a bad situation. Definitely a bad situation to be in.
But it's something that was really shook me up, and Tuesday night I hardly slept. But talking about it to other people has really kind of put the thing back in perspective for me.
Right.
So the initial shock is really worn off, but I'm definitely the past few days I've been hyper alert while driving.
Yeah.
Hyper alert. My eyes will be here and then they'll drift down, and I'll look at my music for a second and I go, oh shit, and I come back up. And then if I make a turn or something where I have to look around, my head's on a fucking crane. I've been hyper vigilant driving.
You pull out the fucking periscope, you're like, jeep.
Pull out the sonar. It's a whole thing.
Sonar button.
So.
Yeah, no.
That's why my normal demeanor, normally when I talk about a bad thing that happened to me, I would try to make some kind of joke out of it. My normal demeanor has shifted to a more serious tone because it was genuinely a...
Scary.
I don't want to say traumatic.
But it was scary.
It was a scary experience. It wasn't a good experience for me.
Absolutely.
Just throwing stuff around. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, we'll show him a scary experience. He just beats both of our asses with it.
He's just I pay for this fucking house. What are you talking about?
But I do have to say, I did appreciate how when Chris showed me the damage to the car, the first thing I asked was oh, is this do you think it was your fault or someone else's? And he was like, yeah, it's mine, immediately.
Almost certainly.
So I do appreciate that because you see too many people deflect blame. And to be able to just be well, yeah, I fucked up. That's a big thing. Even, I think I talked about it on the podcast during Thanksgiving where I almost got into an accident. Even though I wasn't at fault legally, I still take partial blame for the way I had been driving at the time, Where I should have seen this person creeping out and been like, let them go just in case. I tried to be aggressive and be like, nah, stay there, bitch. And then they didn't see me. Yeah. So I still take blame as like, okay, my ego didn't allow me to avoid this situation.
That's tough. That adrenaline rush while you're driving is crazy.
Yes.
That people get. And I think that's what, because I'm not a very angry person.
No, I used to be docile.
I used to be a very, very angry person, but I'm not anymore. But when I'm behind the wheel, I'm a menace.
Yeah.
So like I don't drive like I've been driving a lot differently. Like I've been driving the speed limit, and then I went like 75 the other day. I'm like, whoa. Normally I go at
back off, bitch.
Normally I would be going at like felony speeds.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I paid for the whole speedometer. My speedometer, by the way, very ambitious. It goes to like 160.
Yeah.
There's no fucking chance the Fiesta ST's hitting 160. Yeah. I'd be surprised if it touches 140.
Yeah. My car goes up to 120 like a normal car.
Yeah.
So, 160. That's funny. Although,
I think the one on my Accent went up to 160 too.
That thing was barely going 80.
Like, getting that thing up to like 85 was like, it was a chore.
It was a mission.
Yeah.
Whole mission. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad I'm okay,
at least physically, too. A little mentally scarred slightly.
A little, yeah.
But, live and learn kind of thing. And at least it was the, the Prius and not the Fiesta.
Yeah.
One's worth a lot more than the other, so. Yeah. That's, good, so.
Did you have a better week than I did?
I had a decent week. So, I've been extremely busy. I haven't had the most time to do what I would like to, but I've been getting stuff done. I've been just kind of grinding through the days. Like this weekend's practically over before it even started. I was telling Chris with the amount of stuff I have to do. Granted, I'm not trying to be a pity party. Like our boss goes to college, has 2 kids, a wife, a home. I ain't got shit on that. But I do have a lot of stuff to do. So one of the better things that I did was I say better, but it kind of backfired. I did the work on Letsy's car that I talked about, the rear hub and bearings. So that went pretty good. It went all right. You get one side off, basically take the wheel off, it's drum brakes in the back, and we spent maybe 40, 50 minutes trying to get the outer drum off with a torch, PV blaster, pry bars, pry tools, just trying to get this off. The jacking bolts were stripped out. We just couldn't do it.
Yep.
So I went to everyone's favorite, Harbor Freight.
Oh, of course.
Bought a $25 8-inch 3-jaw puller, and I fucking ripped that thing right off. So it worked. This puller is so cheap that some of the threads are already starting to strip, and half the time after you'd get it off and it would fly off, the bolts holding the jaws on would pop off, so then it would just fall.
It's a Chinesium special.
Chinesium special, baby.
And it was all like rust welded on. Pretty
much, yeah, right around the hub.
Yeah, I see videos from people who they're like on TikTok. I see videos of people who are mechanics like in like Florida or like Texas, and it's like, well, this car's 20 years old and it still looks factory fresh underneath.
Yeah,
like there's hardly any rust. So right. If you live in like New England all the way down, like Maine all the way down to like, I would say probably honestly like Virginia.
Mm.
You're going to kind of get the salt and snow.
Yeah.
To varying degrees.
Right.
And then across the country, there's like a band. And then if you live in like Denver or like, Montana.
Who the fuck lives in Denver?
A lot of people, actually.
I know. I feel like I've never talked to anyone who's ever been to Denver. Weirdly enough.
I don't talk to people who get out much.
Makes sense. Yeah. But, it was basically it's just rust welded on, like, right around the hub specifically. Like, we were pulling so hard on the outside that it was actually starting to, like, almost flex the drum.
Nice.
Then it popped off. The only problem is, so we took out the drum brakes, which was super easy. It's actually a lot easier than I thought to do those drum brakes. To physically take them out. I'm not talking about replacing them, adjusting them. That's a whole different ballgame. But taking them out was easy. Getting the hub out was a pain in the ass. That was rust welded on. Finally got that out. Got the new hub in. Put it all back together, and now the only problem is we're getting some pretty shitty noise out of those brakes. So I think me fucking with it, I need to grease them now, because you have your contact points where it kind of slides against the back plate. I believe it's just making a shit ton of noise. But it's funny because you can hear the ABS on her car because you'll give it some brake, and as you're getting slower, you hear and then as you go to the full stop, you hear and then it stops because it's just fully stopping. It's so funny.
Yeah, I think it was with all the rust and everything. It was so set in its ways that you like disturbed it, and it's some sinister presence happened. So it's now like on.
Pretty much,
it's gonna start making noise and acting up.
So the work on her car went good. What's so funny about working on cars when you're doing like duplicate jobs like that, like one side and then the other, is the first side always fucking takes forever. Assuming it's an actual duplicate job. Like I was talking to the draft man about his Miata, and when he did his motor mounts, and he said one motor mount was fine, the first one was fine, but the second one was a pain in the ass. So it was kind of the opposite. But on this, it's like by the time I got to the second side, I already knew the best way to get the speed sensor or the ABS sensor off. I knew the best way to do that. I knew the best way to get the actual outer drum off. I knew the best way to remove the the drum brakes. So the first side genuinely took about 3.5 hours. The second side took 27 minutes.
Yeah.
So fucking easy.
I feel like society has progressed past the need for drum brakes.
Yes, I'm surprised, honestly, that like up until like my car 2009, her car 2010, both have drum brakes.
My Accent had drum brakes in the rear, and I was a 19.
That's fucking crazy. I'm gonna do a disc brake conversion. It's what one of my coworkers did.
The thing with drum brakes, literally the only advantage is that they last way longer.
They last like 10 to 12 years, dude.
They'll last like, if you live in a rusty area, you're gonna have to replace them before they're worn out, because of all the rust that's accumulated near them. But those things will last like 150,000 miles.
Let's put it this way. These cars are 2010 with 148,000 miles, and there's still a shit ton of meat left on those pads.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what I'm going to do is this weekend, tomorrow, I have to do some work on her dad's car. Luckily, it's brakes and rotors, all disc brakes. So that'll be easy. And then I'm going to take a look at her car, grease the brakes, and probably clean up the springs as well. So.
Yeah, so I explained this to Jordan yesterday because he was explaining all this stuff he has to do. Jordan, I think you should just be more of an asshole. This is how I avoid doing things that I don't want to do. I'm just a prick.
The thing is, though, I like working on cars.
See, I do too, but I listen. I have better things to do. I want to if I want to sit, lay down, and decompose for 2 days, that's what I'll do.
Right. No, I'm actually excited to... First of all, I'm excited to fix her fucking squeaky-ass car. I'm excited to fix that. And then her dad's car is going to be super easy. So it's just the brakes and rotors. We decided not to do the spark plugs. That's easy enough. Which it is a split engine on that car, so I looked into it after we talked yesterday.
Yeah, it's a Subaru. It's a Boxer.
Yeah, it's split, but it's not as bad as like the WRX. We have to drop the engine. You can get this one pretty easily.
Yeah, above, I don't know if you have to like fully drop the engine, or you have to like take out one of the motor mounts and like fucking angle it or something. I know it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because as a WRX engine base, a lot smaller.
Right.
The pistons are out here, right up against the thing, so you have to like.
Yeah. So we decided not to do them anyway. But the brakes and rotors will go super easy. I mean, it's all disc brakes. It'll be perfectly fine. And then I still don't know about my sister's phone. So my sister's S21 Ultra bricked itself, and I was going to try to do some finagling, but I think she might have taken it to T-Mobile, so maybe I'm less busy than I was going to be. I have one less thing to do. But overall, her car went well, minus the fact that I should have greased them before we put everything back together, but whatever.
Beginner mistake.
Yeah, I just kind of assumed. I was like, they didn't need grease before, but obviously we took them out, so our adjustment is fucking it up.
ABG. So. Always be greasing.
Always be greasing, baby. So I had a pretty good week. It was honestly just like a grind fest. I just fucking...
On the grind, baby.
Pretty much, dude. I just like went to work, came home, went to work, came home.
Sigma grind set.
Sigma grind set, dude. But yeah, so that's what this weekend's looking like too. I've been playing some games, but I wanted to see if you had anything else you wanted to talk about first.
Well, Jordan, you know what we have both done this week or last week or whatever? In the last couple weeks, we both saw the Batman.
No. I lied. I saw SpongeBob.
You just watched an episode of SpongeBob?
I rented the theater and I used Prime Video to watch SpongeBob for 3.5 hours.
On IMAX?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sponge Mats. No, but yeah, we did see the Batman.
Yeah, at separate
times. Not together.
At separate times. Jordan went with Lexi and I went with some boys.
Yeah, there.
You know, so with some of the boys, we sat, and I hadn't been to a theater since like 2018. And I hadn't been to the theater that we actually ended up going to since
it like a local theater or was it AMC?
Like it was AMC.
Yeah.
So there was a different theater that's like very close to me. They're shut down.
They also sucked dick.
That
even
theater
when they
was
were open.
crazy though because
you could see free movies.
Well, because it was no one gave a fuck. So like you would just get in line and you could buy a ticket and just like no one would collect it or check it or anything. And there will be like on like a Saturday night, there'll be like 12 people in the entire theater.
Yeah.
So like I think I went to when Star Wars Episode 7 came out. I went to go see it and it was like our group and then there was like a couple other groups in the whole theater.
Yeah.
There was so many empty seats. But we went to a different theater this time and they changed up. They like switched everything up and there's like recliners in there now.
You haven't been there since before there was recliners?
I haven't been into that specific theater since since I was like 10.
Wow. It's the one across from the Best Buy?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I haven't been in that theater since I was like 10. I don't go to the theater very often.
Yeah.
But they have the recliners. That shit is awesome.
Yeah, that's like the best theater. It's the most expensive one, but it's the best.
That
There's
shit
also
was
the
awesome.
new one in our city, in my city, I should say, that is similar and cheaper, but not quite as good.
Yeah, but also it's like, it's more expensive than I remember it. But it's like, well, I don't know, it's $15 for the ticket or whatever.
Yeah, people complain about prices. I'm just like, I'm just going to see a movie, dude. Like,
I was trying to go see a movie. Man.
I don't really care. It's just an experience.
I spent more on the popcorn and the drink than I did on the ticket. So
yeah, right. But what did you think of the Batman?
So, I have some observations about the movie, and then I have an important question about Batman lore in general. So, firstly, the performance by the Riddler, I don't know the actor's name.
I forget the actor's name too, but yeah.
I thought it was fucking abysmal.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I thought the opposite. I thought it was really good.
That scene where he gives that whole diatribe about, like, after he gets arrested, and he's like, "Oh, this wasn't according to my plan." That was one of the worst acted scenes I've seen in cinema in general.
You think so?
That was fucking awful. I was almost in tears. I was trying to hold my laughter so hard. It was just cringe. It wasn't a good performance. He's doing the like fake crazy thing, and it's so obvious that he's trying to act crazy, but he just can't. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he's a fine actor otherwise, but he just can't play a crazy person very well.
Right. What about in like the beginning portion? So just the end portion. I can see where the end portion.
Any portion where he yells is awful.
He yells, yeah.
Some of the like initial ones are like, "Oh, that's fairly sinister. Mm-hmm. That's fairly sinister." I don't, I can see why this, Another thing about his storyline, I feel like because it definitely probably should have been 2 different movies. Mm-hmm. It was so fucking long, and there was definitely like dedicated endpoints throughout the movie. It's like, oh, the movie could have ended here. Oh, there's another hour. Okay.
Right.
The story with the Riddler, they have to throw in spoilers. They have to throw in like him doing a domestic terrorist attack at the end.
Yeah.
Just something completely heinous for you to be like, oh yeah, this is the bad guy. Because, like, he kills people, sure. But he's killing, like, the corrupt mayor and, like, corrupt police and things. It's like, who gives a fuck? These are bad people. Sure, he's killing people. They're bad people. So I'm like, oh, he's kind of in the right here.
Yeah.
He's kind of, like... And the whole speech he gives to Batman about, it's like, well, you're not, you're just a rich kid. You had all this money, and whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's right. He has a point.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the Riddler, though. That's the Riddler's character is like, he's the bad guy, but he's someone who got fucked over by the government.
And then I'm like, you think about it, right? You're like, Batman kind of looks like an asshole here. Boom, he commits a terrorist attack. Okay, now I'm not on this guy's side anymore.
Yeah.
So, there was that. I thought the performance from
Robert
Pattinson was like, it was fine. It was an interesting Batman, but I thought the like monologuing that he did was really cringe.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have liked it if I was like 13.
Was it because of him or just the monologuing in general?
No, that dialogue could have been delivered by any actor and it would have been equally cringe.
Okay. No,
I'm not saying his performance was bad. I was saying the dialogue he was given was cringe.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering because that's out of the comic book, the whole monologuing, not the words themselves, but like the idea of him monologuing.
Well, yeah.
So that's why I was wondering if it was more the idea or the execution.
But it's so fucking stupid. It's like, I'm vengeance. I'm scarred. I live to get rid of the filth in this city. Don't go fuck yourself.
Right.
You sound like a 14-year-old Edge posting on fucking Snapchat, on their private Snapchat story. Don't hit me up. Real ones know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you. It was really cringe overall.
Right.
That part of it, but I thought it was interesting. It was a fun time. I didn't hate the movie.
I really liked his Batman performance, and then going back and seeing Christian Bale, and he's like, Batman. That was fucking mouth movement. I'm just like, oh man, Robert Pattinson did way better. Like, I'm sorry to all the people who are like, Christian Bale fans, like, he's the best Batman, sure, whatever, cool. But like, the dude looks like he's fucking has like brain freeze the whole time he's talking. He's like,
but the Robert Pattinson Batman was fine.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did, honestly.
I thought the choreography for the fighting was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, the choreography was good. I think he did really good, in my opinion. The one thing he sucked at was Bruce Wayne, which I don't know if it was him or if it was the scripting, but Batman and Bruce Wayne were practically the same when the whole point of the comics, any game, is like Bruce Wayne is this cleaned up millionaire. It's he's a face. And then he goes back and he's just fucking, he's Batman. That's the whole point. But in this movie, it's like he takes off the Batman suit. He's all like disheveled, and then he goes out in public, and it's like, that's Bruce Wayne.
Oh, and the reveal of the Batmobile was fucking pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The Batmobile in general. So I like how it's a little more grounded in reality. Like it isn't. I mean, it has a fucking jet engine on the back.
Yeah.
But it's still just like a normal looking vehicle for the most part.
I expected there to be like a little montage of him like putting the whole ensemble together, because there's a scene where you see like all the engine parts all laid out.
Yeah.
And also Bruce Wayne when he's as Bruce Wayne making a public appearance, he's a fucking mint condition C2 Corvette with the split window in the back. That shit was awesome. Best part of the movie.
Yeah.
My question, 2 questions actually. Why did they make the Joker? Because it doesn't fit, right? Because at the end of the Batman, they tease a new Joker, and it's not Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
So why'd they even make that fucking movie?
I don't know, to be honest.
If they wanted to tease a new Joker, just do the new Joker. If they're going to do this whole new run of DC films, which is like
their 4th run.
Which is like their 4th run, yeah. Because they're getting good now. Because, like, there was a couple other ones I forget in between. I know the new Suicide Squad was pretty good. I haven't watched it. I heard it was pretty good.
The newest one was okay, yeah.
The Joker was pretty good. I enjoyed that movie. The Batman, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a fun time. It was a fine time. It was a superhero movie. But it doesn't fit. I feel like they did my boy Joaquin Phoenix dirty. He should have been the Joker.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck Joaquin is. Did you see they officially revealed that Joker?
No, I didn't.
So they released a deleted scene, which is of Batman talking to that Joker, and he is horrifying.
Oh, really?
He is fucking horrifying. Yeah. He basically, so the whole Joker story in the comic books is that he fell in an acid vat. They literally made him look like he fell in an acid vat.
Oh, so he looks like fucking he looks like Deadpool, bro.
Pretty much.
He looks just fucking disheveled.
He literally looks like Deadpool, but honestly, like scarier. Like so fucked up. Hang on, let me pull it up here.
Yeah, just get a picture of him. He looks like a fucking menace. Give him a Joker movie. I would watch that too.
That's what I'm saying. So the new Joker is pretty fucking gnarly looking. So I hope they do something cool with it. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Joaquin because everyone liked him. Like he was like critically well received.
I thought Joaquin Phoenix was a pretty good Joker. I liked that movie a lot.
Yeah, I still need to see it.
It was very enjoyable. The origin that they kind of give him it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It fits with it. I'm not a Batman fan, so I don't know. I would say it fits with that vibe of this arc that they're doing.
Right.
Where it's like the movies are a lot darker and grittier and more real.
Yeah, that's kind of how DC is supposed to be. Like even No Way Home, the Spider-Man movie, finally gave us the Spider-Man / Peter Parker that you would see in the comic books. And they went really dark and gritty, and that's the thing is like. It's a tough balance. That's like you said about the Uncharted movie and the Witcher TV show. It's like, who is this for? Because if you try to appeal to the gamers that play the games, or if you try to appeal to the comic book fans who read the comics, that's vastly different than the mass public.
Well, yeah. So they kind of have to. I mean, it's a superhero movie. People are going to see superhero movies.
Yeah.
They're the westerns of our day.
Yeah, pretty much. But like with Spider-Man, it's tough because the biggest complaint about like Tom Holland, for example, was like, oh, he's not independent, and Spider-Man's supposed to be like this self-made superhero, and then they fix that with the newest movie, and then in the Batman, it's like people kind of complained that like, number one, Batman hadn't had a good movie in forever, and Batman v Superman was kind of shit. So it's kind of the same concept. This movie heavily leans into the comic books though, like with a lot of aspects. But what else did you think? So obviously you didn't really care for the Riddler. The Joker was, they did your boy dirty.
Yeah.
You liked the cinematography. I mean, not the cinematography, the choreography. I mean.
Yeah.
What about and the Batmobile and all that? What about the actual? It's tough to, I guess, to say. 'Cause you kind of already answered it, but like the actual story. So the story of how this Batman is already experienced and. He's basically the whole point of the movie is you're like following him on a detective adventure.
Yeah, I thought
that was pretty cool.
I thought that was interesting enough.
Yeah, I
held
liked
my
the
attention.
detective stuff. My favorite thing, honestly, is they did a good job of making Batman like super smart. They did a really good job of that, like what you said before, about him killing people. Like when he's solving the riddles and the guy has the head trap on and the phone stuck to his phone, to his hand, and the Riddler's like giving this really long riddle, and the guy's like, and he's like, it's vengeance. It's this, it's that, and he answers it like immediately in half a second. I just love it. I'm like, that's my Batman, baby. But it was really, really cool, really good. I personally liked our boy Robert Pattinson a lot. I think he was probably my favorite, honestly. Christian Bale, the movies were good. I liked him when I was younger, but I like Robert Pattinson, honestly. He's pretty good, very well versed. I just think they need to fix his Bruce Wayne a little bit and stop making him like a goth boy.
And I think we should bring back Adam West's 1960s Batman.
Yeah,
even though Adam West I think is very dead.
I think so.
Like he died very recently, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can just bring him back. He'll play the Joker or something. Use his corpse.
Yeah. He's gonna play actually every single role.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be Batman. He's gonna be Robin. He's gonna be the Joker. He's gonna be Commissioner Gordon. He's gonna be Catwoman. It's gonna be all of them.
Dude, Adam West in tights, Catwoman.
I mean, you know.
Hell yeah, brother.
Look at it go.
I do have to say, like, Robin, fuck Robin. Do you like Robin or not? I hate Robin.
I have no horse in this race. I just think it's a bit weird that a grown ass man is running around with a little boy, and they're both wearing tights.
Yeah,
I just think it's weird.
When you get to the older Robin, and then there's Jason Todd versus fucking Tim something. What the fuck is his name? Tim Daney or Darney or some shit. There's like different Robins that he has. Like some of them are better than others. Like if you've played the Arkham Knight games, I don't know if you have, or Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight games. Arkham Knight has like Jason Todd, and he's just like this really badass Robin. He's pretty cool, but like, Yeah, when it's like the little boy Robin, it's like,
it's weird.
I don't know. I get the mentor figure, but
it's very suspect. Because anytime you see an older man spending time with a younger kid, you're just like, oh,
who he's not related to.
Because it's like, oh, so that's not his dad, or like his uncle, or like his grandpa even. So what's going on here?
Okay, so let me get this straight. This rich guy who lives alone, besides his butler, found an orphan.
He just like took him in. He spoils him with all his money. Right? He guys live in this lavish house, and he just gives him like bright colored underwear and makes him run around in public. Yeah. It's just weird.
It's just a little bit weird.
Okay, it's a bit strange.
A little bit sussy. That's,
you know. I do have a final question though. Yeah. About Batman overall. The bat signal, right? How the fuck does he know where to go?
Yeah.
Because the bat signal shines from one dedicated place, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it moves to where the crime is happening.
It's above where the crime is happening. It's like a beacon.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh, it's this general direction.
Well, I think that's kind of the thing is like...
It's like, is it like that? And then like, Batman gets a text and it's like... It's like Street. Coordinates. Or it's like a little pin shows up on its Google Maps.
It's like that Google Maps and it's like, there's a cop nearby. He's like,
it's Commissioner Gordon texts him. They're like, bro, there's something going on in one of these streets. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think it's primarily like wherever the light is above in a way. So if you shine it, if there was a light shining somewhat above your house, come to this direction. But yeah, I can see what you're saying where it's not pinpoint. He's just like, oh, the signal.
The bat signal. But he jumps out and he just starts beating the shit out of people.
The movie also does it a little weird too, where like the bat signal, like in the first scene where he's at the subway station.
Yeah.
The bat signal's like over a random area. Like the guy's spray painting, he looks up and he's like, fuck. And then he's like in the subway fighting someone. And you're just like, that's not where the bat signal was.
Yeah, that's another part of the monologuing where he's like, I have my own signal and it serves as a warning.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I do have to say though, I do like how like gritty and like mean they make this Batman. Like that first introduction scene where he's walking in the subway is pretty good, and he beats the shit out of those guys. It's menacing.
See, another thing, Batman doesn't kill people, right? So my question is like, he won't kill someone, but he'll put someone in the hospital without a problem.
Yeah, his two rules are not to kill and don't use guns.
He's like,
for the same reason.
Hang on. Commissioner Gordon has to call him up. He's like, bro, you gotta calm down, all right? This guy is he's like a low level, he's like a little guy, all right? Mm-hmm. He's not like the big bad guy. We were just trying to get information out of him. Oh, right. Did he talk? No, he's in a coma.
He lost all of his memory.
He has brain thrombosis. You cracked his skull. They have to cut out pieces of his skull to let his brain swell through.
Yeah, this might be like
you might have killed this man.
This might be a perfect transition for something you have on the notes. But what I was gonna say is my favorite trend that came out of this movie on TikTok was the people who have been saying like, "You do this," and Batman's response is this.
Yeah.
So the guy is like, he jumps in the pool. And he stands up and he turns and it says no diving. And then he turns back and Batman's on the side of the pool. And then he just starts beating the shit out of him. I love it.
It's like that part where he takes his bat drugs. And he just fucking goes ape shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about that too, about what that was. If it was adrenaline or if it was venom, which is what Bane uses to get all...
Bat-roids. He went to a roid rage.
It's COVID. He's like...
It's straight COVID.
He's tripping off the COVID, man.
It's synthetic cocaine.
Yeah. But I do wonder if it was supposed to be like venom as well, because it was like a yellow, and usually the venom's green. So if they're setting up Bane as the next thing, but that would also mean that Bane is...
Then why would they tease the Joker if they were gonna...
Well, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you can tease, multiple villains, like in a lot of superhero movies have like think about it, even this one. You have your main villain, and then you have like a random villain who kind of pops up and gets speculated on. So it could be the same thing where it's like you have the Joker. Next movie is about the Joker, but Bane.
Oh yeah, and they had the Penguin too.
Yeah, the Penguin.
Which I think
that Penguin was fucking great.
I think they should bring back Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Yeah.
like the Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah, I think you could play it. I like this penguin. This guy did a really good fucking job.
He was definitely a scumbag. Like yeah. I thought he was a scumbag. But you said something about TikTok.
Yeah.
I have issue with TikTok right now.
Would you say you have a gripance?
That's what it says, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have issue. Okay. People on TikTok who are like, they have a story to tell, right? And it's a very brief story, something that be told in like 45 seconds, like under a minute, right?
The way this is going.
And they just split it, and it's like somehow they spread it across like 5 parts, and it takes like 5 3-minute parts. When you could have told this story in 30 seconds,
right?
It's now I'm sitting there for 15 minutes, like for part 7. Oh, fuck, just tell the story. Tell me what happened. They have to give their whole life story up until that point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I was born on July 6th, 2001.
Oh, hang on. Someone rang the doorbell. I'll be back. And then they come back.
Yeah, it's like, because there's a point where you get, it's like part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, and it's like, okay, so on my 3rd marriage, things weren't going well. The wife and I divorced. Follow for part 7. But this week you were telling about how you were at McDonald's and a fight happened. How does this correlate to any of that?
Part 7. Well, you see, when we got divorced, I learned how to fight by beating her ass.
I went to McDonald's after the divorce, and that's where the fight happened. That's it.
Like for part 8.
Like for part 8.
Part 8. So I was at the McDonald's. I ordered 3 cheeseburgers and some fries. Okay, I'm out of time. Like for part 9.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's this one guy. There's this one account. He's called like Timesaver 9000 or something. And all he does is he'll show the first couple seconds of one of those videos, and he'll explain it within 30 seconds. Without fail.
Really?
Without fail. Because, there's no point. They just give all this additional context. You could have told me what happened.
Right. Yeah, additional context isn't always needed, so.
Yeah, it's like, I don't need to know what happened in your life up until that point. Okay?
Right.
I want to know what happened, and that's it.
Yeah. So just tell me about the McDonald's fight. Come on.
That's my issue with TikToks. People making part 87s to their stories.
Part 87. Yeah. Yeah, TikTok is something else, dude. When we talked at work about data usage or whatever.
Yeah.
It was very funny to see how our boss thought that you and I would have the most TikTok usage, but I had none, and Chris had.
I have a shitload.
What, 60 gigs was it, or a little less?
Oh, no, it was less than that. I thought it was 25 or something.
25 gigs, and then the Giraffe Man had almost 70 gigabytes on Instagram. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, see, TikTok is a dangerous platform.
Well, it's like you said, one of the things about TikTok that you mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, you're right. It is different than every other platform, is that you open the app and it's content.
Yeah.
There's no menu, it's content.
The content delivery on TikTok is very, very good. It's very, very well done. I would say it's genuinely one of the best made social media apps.
Yeah.
Just because of how quick you can get content. So it's like, you go on YouTube, it's like you gotta find a video or something. Or on Instagram, you're scrolling, but it eventually ends.
Yeah.
On TikTok, it's like, button, boom, video. Scroll, I don't like that one. Scroll, new video. Scroll, new video.
And it never ends.
And it never fucking ends.
Yeah.
You can just scroll forever. It'll keep feeding you videos.
Yep.
So that's the, I feel like in terms of getting people to use your platform for a very long period of time, they've nailed that formula. Vine was almost there.
Vine was almost definitely the starting point. Yeah.
Vine was definitely a big thing, and then I forget what led to them shutting down.
I forget too. No,
I definitely think that Vine was the first thing. Then Instagram kind of took over in the interim, and then everyone hated Musical.ly.
Yeah.
And then it became TikTok, and everyone hated TikTok, and now everyone just uses TikTok.
Yep. Yeah. So Vine shut down for monetization reasons, and yeah, TikTok is like literally the opposite of that now. You can monetize so well on TikTok.
You can do anything on that platform. The only other issue I have with it is it's very much like Weenie Hut Juniors.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now you can't you can't really swear or imply swearing in videos. Or like if you show something slightly risky, they put up a big warning.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, because like our short that got taken down, and that was,
they put up a big warning like participating in this activity could lead to severe no shit.
Yeah.
It's a guy climbing up a telephone pole, grabbing onto a transformer and blowing up. I know that could result in severe injury.
Yep. But at least they're cognitive enough to admit that they probably have fucking 4-year-olds using their app, so.
It's because it's kids. I feel like we need more. This is going to sound like I'm talking about porn when I say this. We need more adult spaces on the internet. More spaces that are geared towards people, not even like 18 and older. I'm just thinking like 16 and older.
Yeah.
Because it's like once you're, 14, 15, 16, you don't really care, right? You can see whatever, basically. So if we just like very vigorously age gate things.
Yeah.
On the internet, it'll get rid of this whole Weenie Hut Juniorification. Because, right, YouTube is going this way too.
Badly.
Because there's YouTube Kids already. You get the kids. You want the kids to watch YouTube? You want YouTube to be kid-friendly? Get the app for the YouTube Kids. They'll watch the kids' content.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to see shit that I want to watch on YouTube. I don't want to watch this Weenie Hut Juniors ass shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this video and have to look up things, because this has happened to me multiple times now, where I look up something and I'm like, oh, I don't know how good this information is anymore, because they removed the dislike button.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And it's not even like they're doing anything, because the person making the video can still see the dislikes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You did nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. It's it's something else. It's like they went through their phase where you couldn't swear, and now they're at this, and it's just like, I don't know.
It's a, what I think what we're going to start seeing, because this is like, I would say 2018 YouTube was like Red Dead Redemption 1, right? It was the end of the Wild West, right? Things are getting civilized. And we're now in an age of civilization.
Yeah.
So, over the last 4 years, YouTube's gotten more and more strict on things. So what I think we're going to start seeing on the internet in general is a lot more, because it's basically lawless. You can say almost anything. We're going to see a lot more, I think, FCC intervention into internet spaces, because obviously on television you can't say or show certain things.
Right, everything has to be approved.
And I feel like it's only a matter of time until the FCC or someone else decides the same thing. So, well, YouTube's basically TV now, so.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That could become the new norm. For that, I do see where you could be coming from with that. So hopefully not, ultimately, because that would suck.
So I think ultimately what needs to happen, for any platform to get better, especially YouTube, is there needs to be competitors.
Yes, and YouTube's kind of like a monopoly at this point. There's really no real competitor to YouTube.
Yeah, there are other online video sharing platforms. But none of them are YouTube level. There's Vimeo, which is usually you know what gets posted on Vimeo? A lot of short films.
Yes.
That's about it.
Yeah, short films.
A lot of short films get posted on Vimeo. There's And then there's all these other alt media sites, and they're all just full of racists, like a BitChute, or there's one platform called Library, LBRY, which I actually mirror all my videos to. I set it up a long time ago, and I never undid it, which is just like an open source platform, and that, last I checked, which was some time ago, that doesn't have like the big political radicalization that
right.
somewhere like BitChute has. It's like, how are you going to market this as a viable YouTube alternative when it's full front page, just full of the most awful content imaginable?
Right.
I'll take a front page full of like, Sniper Wolf and Darman and all this garbage, and Mr. Beast reacts over a front page full of some guy in sunglasses sitting in the driver's seat of his truck talking about why Jews are destroying America. I don't want to see that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Go take your meds.
I know. Go take your happy pills.
Yeah.
Fucking. On the topic of YouTube as well, YouTube Vanced. What are you gonna do?
Kill myself, probably.
YouTube Vanced is being shut down. So for those who don't know, it's the platform that Chris uses, and he got Alex on board with it. It's basically just like a third-party,
so it's
non-ad.
Yeah, so it's YouTube, but it's good. So you don't have to watch ads, and it gives you all the YouTube Premium features.
Yeah, for free.
For free, basically. So, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because have you watched a video without ad block recently?
No, I have YouTube Premium.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I pay for Premium.
I look through and I'm like, oh, there's 15 mid rolls.
Yeah,
like, it's just as bad as TV. It's like you get to watch 3 minutes of content, and then you got to watch 4 ads. And you watch 3 minutes of content, you got to watch 4 more ads.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yep,
it's ridiculous. So what am I gonna do? I might get Premium. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's another subscription service. I'm sick and tired of subscriptions.
Yeah. Did you? Oh my God. Speaking of subscriptions, did you see what Rockstar did?
No.
GTA Plus.
GTA Plus. What's that?
It is a Grand Theft Auto online subscription.
Okay.
Membership.
Uh-huh.
That gives you $500,000 in game every month.
Okay.
A free vehicle you can pick, and some other bullshit.
A free vehicle every month?
Yeah. And it's vehicles only you can get with that subscription.
Right. Yep. GTA Plus.
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, without even lying to you, I think this is where gaming is gonna go, because everything's a subscription now.
Yep.
Everything's a subscription. You want to watch content. It's getting as bad as cable now, because people switch to people cut the cord to get away from the bullshit of cable. It's like, well, it's like $180 a month, and I get to watch some TV, but and then I got to watch all these advertisements, and it sucks, and the stuff I'm watching sucks.
Right.
So whatever, it was, $9.99 a month. I'll just go get Netflix, and then Netflix was like $12.99, and I was
now it's like $16.
And now it's like, yeah, it's like starting next month, it's like $15.99 a month.
Yeah.
For the regular plan, and then it's like, well, not everything's on Netflix, so now you gotta get Disney Plus, and then you gotta get Hulu, and you gotta get fucking Peacock.
The new Halo show comes out now. I gotta get Paramount Plus.
Yeah, you get Peacock or like Paramount Plus, and then you gotta get, if you're a sports fan or like a wrestling Plus fan, you gotta get the WWE thing. Or you gotta get the ESPN thing, and if you want to listen to music, you gotta get Spotify. Oh, you want higher quality music, you gotta get Tidal. Certain things are only on Tidal. Certain things are only on Spotify. And you want to watch content online, you gotta watch YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
We're getting too many subscription services.
It's too many subscriptions. The only good thing is that ultimately, if you're paying say $100 a month for cable, you can get a lot of subscriptions and stay under that budget, but it's like it's just so much to manage, dude. Then you're switching channels all the time between, okay, you want to watch on YouTube, now you want to go to Disney Plus, now you want to go to Paramount Plus. You're just like all over the place. It's frustrating. That's why I don't watch TV. I just have YouTube Premium.
It's very frustrating. It's and I think we're just gonna see more and more subscriptions, right? Like, this is a scary proposition.
Yeah.
To have a monthly subscription attached to a game like that. You don't have to buy that.
But they'll do everything they can to stay within the legal guidelines and make it so you feel like you have to.
Yeah. So, and I understand, right? Before anyone says anything. World of Warcraft. You used to need to pay, I think you still do, need to pay $15 a month.
Right.
As a subscription. I understand that.
Yeah.
And I don't like that either. But they've been doing that since like 2004.
But that also doesn't gatekeep you while you've already been playing the game, right? So you have to pay to play the game.
But so does everyone.
But so does everyone. On GTA Online, you can buy the game, play the game, and then you are at a disadvantage because you're not paying the subscription.
Yeah, you get a leg up for doing that.
Yeah, GTA Online, for those who don't know, a lot of it is the higher level you are, the more powerful you are, the more capable you are, and the more content you unlock. So with this first month's subscription, you get free money. Not really free money, you're paying for it. Some custom skins and bullshit. And then you get triple XP on certain modes and double XP on others. That's the same thing. That's you're basically giving a boost. It's like how in Valhalla you can buy XP to just skip a portion of the game. The difference there is that it's a single player only game.
Yeah, well, here's the thing as well. GTA Online is 100% pay to win, and you can still buy it separately.
Yeah.
And another thing that really bothers me is you have to buy it.
Yeah.
You have to buy it. If it was a free-to-play game, I could excuse a lot of the microtransaction crap.
Yeah.
They should just make it free-to-play at this point.
They should. It's even like Red Dead Online. They made Red Dead Online $5. Just make it free-to-play.
Just make it free-to-play, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but they've just ruined it because they don't support it because they're too busy with Grand Theft Auto.
It's like, well, let's make another online mode for people who are already fed up with our antics for our last online mode, and then just make it worse.
Yep, and don't support it.
You can play missions, but then, you get like gold bars and this second premium currency.
Yep.
It's garbage. It's all garbage.
Yep. It's like 4 gold bars for a hat. It's like you realize what a gold bar is worth, but you want 4 of them for a hat?
As I saw some gameplay on Red Dead Online, and there was like someone looking through the catalog. When you go to the gun store, you look at the catalog.
Yeah.
And there was like there were guns that, like, in the single player mode, the most expensive guns are like $120 or something.
Yeah.
And then in this multiplayer mode, there was like the cheap ones, like the standard rifle.
The Cattleman revolver.
They were like $700 and $800.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And the same thing with GTA Online. There's like a car that's $50,000 in the story mode is $1 million in online.
Yeah. Yep. It just doesn't scale properly.
It's ridiculous, and it's meant to drain wallets.
Pretty much. But yeah. Did you want to talk about anything else, or save it for the next one?
No, we'll do the next one.
All right. Well, that's all for me.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
So, if for some reason you enjoyed what you heard today.
What do you mean, if for some reason?
And you wanted to listen to this show again.
If you'd like to return.
You can listen on the following platforms that Jordan will remind you of again.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course Pocket Cast. That's my app of choice. They still haven't fucking paid us. I'm telling you. We'll roll up on us.
That's sponsor money.
Come on, man. And as always, the RSS feed. Import it in your favorite app. Comments, questions, concerns, and death threats via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Or YouTube comment section, TikTok, Instagram. Check them out. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Goodbye.